We are back. It is Monday, the 30th day of August, 2021. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. A pretty quiet weekend ended with some dramatics, what they're calling the Rooster Comb fire on the south end of town. Grabbed a lot of people's attention. Certainly the air attacks were quite dramatic as the group of airplanes, I think there were 6 of them that I counted anyway, came swooping into the Columbia River, picking up the water and dumping it on the fire. Looks very quiet right now, but obviously we'll have the latest information on the Rooster Comb fire. But they went after it big time with water and retardant drops. Still some evacuation levels we need to talk about. We'll get to that fire here in just a couple of minutes, but it turned out to be a fairly busy Sunday night here at the old broadcast Metroplex. It's very quiet right now, very calm. That's going to change. Cold front's going to come in later on today. Those pressure gradients are going to tighten up. We got wind coming our way, not what we want to see. Red flag warning begins at noon today. We'll have those weather details coming up. Also, the latest in sports, they have had a COVID issue with the Wenatchee High School football program. They were supposed to host Skyline this Friday night for the first game of the year at Leib-Off Field at the Apple Bowl. That will now not be happening. Mariners avoided getting swept by the Kansas City Royals, so they took a step back in their quest to make the American League playoffs. We'll have that for you as well. Seahawks look good, even though, again, most of the starters didn't play. The games don't count. And now it's roster cut-down time. Big-time roster cuts. They got to cut about 30 guys from the roster. We'll have that with sports. Plus the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And speaking of high school football, Eric had a chance to sit down with Bryan Bremer, the head football coach for the last 4 years of the Cashmere Bulldogs, who won the Caribou Trail League title last spring, even though, you know what happened. Anyway, they're getting ready to have a full slate of football games up in Cashmere. We'll have that conversation, Eric and Bryan, in the back half of the program. 61 degrees outside of our studios. Again, it's very nice, but we're in for some windy conditions a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and start our tour around north central Washington with our cameras. As you can see, that is a live shot of the Rooster Comb camera, Rooster Comb fire, or what's left of the fire anyway. I don't see a puff of smoke at all anywhere. The Rooster Comb fire breaking out late yesterday afternoon. You can see the leftover retardant drop on the right-hand side of your screen on that ridge there. That is definitely not a natural formation, but for all we can tell, without any air crews up there, things are looking pretty good on the Rooster Comb fire. Again, they were very aggressive attacking that. That's from our Wenatchee Heights camera, our cross camera. In fact, in the shadows, you can see the actual towers that are supporting those cameras. So that, again, is a live shot of what's called the Rooster Comb fire, and things are looking pretty good now on this Monday. Didn't look that way about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, however. Camera number 2. We're off to a Rondo Rock camera, looking back down towards the Wenatchee Valley. Pulled back just a little bit, one of our lower cameras. It comes in handy in the wintertime when we get those air inversion layers and you can't see anything. We have to go to some of our lower cameras, and that's one of those. A low Lake Aniat, Wenatchee, way off into the distance there from our Rondo Rock camera between Rondo and, well, it's near Rondo anyway, Rondo Rock. Camera number 3. I have a tremendous grasp of the obvious, don't I? To Jump Off Ridge we go. The Stemilt Basin directly below you. You can see Wenatchee Heights. If you squint, you can actually see the remnants of the Rooster Comb fire, the Columbia River way off in your right-hand corner of your screen up there. So nice view from Jump Off Ridge. I don't know why it got its name. However, I've been up to that tower site. You do not want to jump off Ridge. That's bad advertising. Camera number 4. Up to Billy Goat we go. Good morning to Alta Lake in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. The Alta Lake Golf Course is adjacent to that. The Methow flowing into the Columbia where it meets Pateris. Gorgeous view there. Right now, the air quality is good to the north of us. Of course, they've had the Cub Creek fire and the Cedar Creek fire. They've made great headway on that. We haven't really spoken of those fires a great deal, but right now, outside of the Omak area, air quality to the north of us is pretty good. We'll also have an update on those 2 fires, by the way, when we get to news. Coming up in just a few minutes. So some nice views from around north central Washington with our Valley View camera. Red flag warning. Not what we want to see in late summer. We're going to have very low relative humidity, strong winds, and that means we're keeping our fingers crossed. If you live in the pink area, and that's pretty much everybody, we're looking at a red flag warning. It begins at noon today, goes until 9 o'clock tonight. Right now, you're going to step outside and you go, there's not even a whiff of wind. That is going to change. Again, a rather robust cold front's going to pass through the region later on this afternoon. It's going to start picking up in intensity wind-wise about 10 or 11 o'clock. By 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, the wind will be at its peak. We're talking significant wind gusts above 20 miles an hour for the Wenatchee Valley. Other locations that are more prone to stronger winds are going to get stronger winds. Existing fires could get moving. Any new fires could get moving. Again, a red flag warning begins at noon today, goes until 9 o'clock tonight for the same scenarios that we see. Warm conditions, dry relative humidity, and strong winds. That's the combination that would do a critical fire setup. And so a red flag warning begins in just a few hours. We'd like to keep you in the loop on that. Let's hope we get through today without any kind of incidents. Okay, from the National Weather Service, as we say goodbye to August and welcome September. Again, quite a bit of sunshine today, a high of about 80. For the record, by the way, Saturday we hit 82, Sunday 85. Sunrise this morning 6:18, sunset this afternoon 7:44. That's 12 hours and 26 minutes of daylight. We have lost in the last week 23 minutes of daylight. It's that time of the year when this happens. So again, windy this afternoon. The winds will die down about 10 or 11 o'clock or so tonight. But of course, it's going to usher in, as we mentioned, it's a cold front, so it's going to bring in some cold air. So we're only going to get to 70 tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to feel very autumnal-like with lots of sunshine, still some residual winds, but really not much. It's going to be breezy tomorrow, but not nearly as windy tomorrow as we're going to have today. Look at the overnight low, 50, and then the overnight low Wednesday in the 40s. That's been a very, very long time, and there are some locations in the northeast corridor of our state, up in Ponderay County, Republic, those areas with those narrow valleys, they could see overnight lows in the 30s on Wednesday night. Not nearly as cold here, but again, slightly below normal today, much below normal on Tuesday, and Wednesday, of course, is the first day of September. Then a gradual warming trend as we head on into the weekend. We still got summertime, another 22 days of summer still to go. So again, the big story today, the red flag warning, it is going to be windy this afternoon with the dry relative humidity. Any significant fires out there, even minor ones, could become major ones in a very short period of time. Okay, it's 8 minutes after the hour. After a 1 minute break, we're going to have your latest news, including what we have for you on the Rooster Comb fire. That's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we.
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So.
Go to CheyennePUD.org/save today.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
59 degrees outside of our studios at 9 minutes after the hour. Quite a bit of sunshine today. Very strong winds expected later on this afternoon. We do have a red flag warning that begins at noon today, goes until just after sunset tonight, right around 9 o'clock or so. Very chilly temperatures, at least for this time of the year, for the next couple of days after that. And then we warm right back up for the Labor Day weekend. And we begin with a live shot we just showed you just a couple minutes ago. I'm going to show it to you again. This is what we have now from our cross camera, looking back towards what is being called the Rooster Comb Fire. State firefighting resources were mobilized for the Rooster Comb Fire in the foothills south of Wenatchee. About 200 acres burned, grass and sagebrush for the most part. It threatened about 300 homes. There are still level 3 evacuations, the Get Out Now evacuations, and that is the map of that in the red. That's the level 3 evacuations on Medhouse Street from its intersection with Spilchuck Road to Chrisland Lane, all the side streets west of Medhouse Street in the area that I just mentioned, including Chrisland Lane and Okanagan Avenue, from its very south end to Circle Street. State fire assistance was mobilized at 6:45 p.m., according to the state fire marshal. Now, the Rooster Comb fire started at about 4:50 in the afternoon in the 2300 block of Medhouse Street. This is what it looked like at around 6 o'clock last night. This is all according to Chelan County Fire District 1 spokeswoman Kay McKellar. Now, in addition to the level 3 evacuation notices, all of Pitcher Canyon Road is at level 2. That means it gets set to leave. Now, the state fire marshal's office said the cause of the fire, we don't know yet, it's under investigation. The fire was quickly, and I mean quickly, attacked aggressively by local fire departments with significant air support, planes and helicopters dipping into the Columbia River, other fixed-wing aircraft dropping retardant. Chelan County Fire District 1 and the State Department of Natural Resources, they were the initial group that attacked the fire, and they were soon joined, as you might imagine, by other local agencies. Shortly after the fire started, there was a report of an unrelated small plane crash in the Mission Ridge area, according to Kay McKellar, but the occupants of that plane were able to escape unharmed, and that crash, in fact, was not related to the Rooster Comb fire. We'll have more on that, obviously, with the news tonight at 5 o'clock. Speaking of fires, all the evacuation levels have been now lowered to level 1 status on the 25-mile fire off Lake Chelan. That means hundreds of residents can return to their homes and their properties. Now, some of the areas around the fire had been on level 3 since the fire broke out just about 2 weeks ago now. The fire has burned about 11,000 acres. Last I checked this morning, 32% containment. Most of the fire growth over the weekend was to the west, the southwest, and the south. Firefighting efforts have been aided in recent days by some light rain and the arrival of additional resources, with that Type 1 incident management team now in charge of that fire. Many of the firefighters on the 25-mile fire off Lake Chelan are working in remote, difficult-to-access locations. So to save time and to save resources, the incident management team for the fire had been parachuting supplies to those crews, as explained by Air Operations Branch Director Sean Cox.
Hello, I'm Sean Cox, Air Operations Branch Director with Alan Sinclair's Southwest Area Incident Management Team 1. We're currently in command of the 25-mile fire on the Chelan Ranger District on the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. I wanted to take a couple of seconds here to talk to you folks about paracargo and how we're delivering critical food supplies as well as firefighting logistical support for remote spike camps on the 25-mile fire. We're currently utilizing paracargo delivery for our primary means of delivering those supplies and equipment. Paracargo is simply the normal firefighting, food, equipment, fuel, water, etc. that we deliver all over the U.S. and Canada and internationally to fires to support the firefighters. Paracargo is simply bulking that up, bundling it up, and dropping it from a fixed-wing smoke jumper aircraft with parachutes. We find this very advantageous, especially for this fire, due to the logistical constraints not only within our team on the logistics side of lack of personnel due to the amount of fires in the western U.S. occurring right now, but also because it's a force multiplier and we have other folks helping to employ and drop cargo quickly, thus also freeing up our rotor wing aircraft for tactical suppression operations. Paracargo has been around since the birth of smoke jumping, which occurred just up the road in Winthrop, Washington in 1939. Again, it is proving itself and its worth to continue this employment on a good way of delivering a large amount of cargo in a rapid fashion. So paracargo has been utilized on this fire due to the long travel times via road and helicopter to get critical and essential supplies to our firefighters to continue with their suppression objectives. For example, spike camps that are occurring in our Division November, our furthest southern division, are only accessible by road and then a 2 to 3 hour hike into a location where the firefighters can rest overnight.
Pretty remarkable footage there. Speaking of fires, two of the state's biggest wildfires burning in Okanagan County are nearing complete containment after burning more than 120,000 acres combined and causing week after week of hazardous air conditions to the north of us. The Cedar Creek fire, which closed down the North Cascades Highway for several weeks, that's now 80% contained after burning more than 55,000 acres. And further north, closer to the town of Winthrop, the Cub Creek 2 fire, 70% contained after burning more than 70,000 acres. Those fires, in addition to the nearby Delancey and Muckamuck fires, poured heavy smoke into Twisp and Winthrop. By the way, the air quality this morning, and I just checked, is healthy right now. The only unhealthy air to the north of us is in the Omak area. Record heat, persistent drought, and climate change have all contributed to this year's overwhelming wildfire season in the Pacific Northwest. Now, last week, fire managers from multiple state agencies held an online media roundtable to talk about the fire season thus far and what's likely ahead as wildfires continue to burn.
Briefly, these statistics are all compiled by the National Interagency Fire Center. The number of fires and acres burned, those are reflective of the number of wildfires that have occurred as reported by both state and federal agencies. And then same goes for acres burned. Now note that these statistics are current as of reporting that was completed last night. And we are of course still in the month of August. And so we have some considerable time left on the calendar to accumulate more fires and acres burned. And really the take home point here is when you look at our statistics this year, thus far, we're already north of 900,000 acres burned. And you can see here what the 10-year average is. And so we've already eclipsed it, and we haven't even reached September yet.
Our folks are tired. Our folks have been going, it's a transient workforce. They start wherever the fire season starts nationally. And they've been going for a long time, since May. And so it's just a cumulative fatigue for our folks. We're doing everything we can to provide them the rest and recuperation that we can, but as long as fire season continues on, that fatigue will continue on with our workforce.
All of those resources being stretched for the large fires, yes, it has affected, resource drawdown. Now that some of those areas are starting to wane a little bit, more of the resources are being able to be kicked over to some of our other fires, including those fires in Northern California. So, some things here, some takeaways, you're right. Based upon where the fires are, that does bring a drawdown, especially when we get to the large fire aspect. However, with the fires starting to wane in other places, nationally, we're being able to work with our national office, here within the Pacific Northwest, to be able to move some of those fire resources to provide a much needed relief and help, in containing and controlling those fire incidents.
A hacker who allegedly stole millions of pieces of personal information from T-Mobile, allegedly did so by breaking into the wireless carrier's East Wenatchee data center. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, they're reporting that the alleged cyber thief, John Benz, said he gained access to more than 100 T-Mobile account servers through the Polaris data center in East Wenatchee. Now, by that route, he claims to have stolen sensitive information on more than 50 million people, including social security numbers. Now, Benz is an American living in Turkey. He has not been arrested, nor has he been charged. The intrusion was discovered back on August 17th. Now, in a blog post today, T-Mobile's CEO says, and I'm quoting now, "The last 2 weeks have been humbling, but promises that the access points used in that attack have now been disabled." And the Chelan Douglas Health District is warning people not to use ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID-19. The drug is used for humans in treating parasitic worms, but only in specific doses. Another version of the drug is used for treating animals, and the health district said use of that drug by humans could be dangerous and cause serious harm. The Center for Disease Control issued its own warning on Thursday after demand for ivermectin for use against COVID-19 soared in much of the country. That's what's making news on what's already been a busy Monday. It could be another one of those weeks. We'll have a newscast for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10 with a preview, the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good Monday morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, after a beautiful weather weekend, get ready for wind. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a wrap on the weekend sports with the Seahawks, Mariners, and local high school football. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a news tip, you want to drop us a note and say hi, you can email us, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can drop us a note via our Facebook page. Just go to our Facebook page and drop us a note on the Messenger app, Or you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. We'll get it right here at the Broadcast Metroplex here in beautiful downtown Wenatchee. 20 minutes after the hour, when we come back with sports, the Mariners avoid getting swept. Seahawks looked pretty good on Saturday night in a game that didn't count, and the Wenatchee Panther football team was supposed to play a game that did count this Friday. Now they're not. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
22 minutes after the hour in sports, after getting through a COVID-shortened spring football season, well, the Wenatchee football team's fall season has already taken a hit because of COVID-19. Wenatchee Athletic Director Jim Beeson announced last night that the Panthers' opening game scheduled for Friday against Skyline has been canceled because of COVID exposure. In an email to staff last night, Beeson said, and I'm quoting now, "We have had 2 COVID exposure cases with our football team, and as a result, our Week 1 games have been canceled due to our kids not being able to get in enough practices. We are working with our school nurses and the Department of Health to make sure we are following DOH protocols," end quote. Now, football players are required to have 12 practices before they can play in a football game. Beeson said even if the game had been moved to Saturday, they still wouldn't have been able to get in 12 practices. So Wenatchee's first varsity game will now be against Mount Baker at Lee-Boffel Field at the Apple Bowl on Saturday, September 11th. At 6 p.m. The Mariners salvaged their final game of their 4-game homestand against Kansas City. It was a nail-biter, but they pulled it out. 4-3 the final. Marco Gonzalez, he looked really good over 7 innings. He allowed 2 solo home runs to earn his 6th win of the season, but it wouldn't be easy. Salvador Perez continued to be a one-man wrecking crew for the Royals. He hit his 4th home run in consecutive days to tie the game in the top of the 6th inning.
Bob Oliver, and right on cue, Salvador Perez hits it off the facing of the upper deck. So make it 8 home runs and 15 RBIs on this trip.
Jared Kelnick came to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, and here's what he did.
Pulled around to the right on the 1-2 pitch. High fly ball, deep right field. It's got a chance. Giddy up! Gone! Mariners lead it 2-1 on a home run by Jared Kelnick, his 7th of the season. Boy, did they need that on a 1-2 pitch.
Very next inning, top of the 7th, Kansas City got the lead right back on a Michael A. Taylor solo home run, but then Kyle Seager came to the plate and set a personal milestone.
Did he get enough? Let it ride! Let it ride! Bye-bye! Kyle Seager, home run number 31, a career best, and the Mariners have the lead back.
Well, here you go. He gets a pitch to his liking, and it's the changeup. Stays on it and drives it out to right center field. A career-high 31 home runs. He leads the club with 85 RBIs, so a real chance for him to drive in 100 this year for the first time in his career. That was in the bottom of the 7th inning, so now it's time for the bullpen to do their job. Paul Seaworld, well, he made a mistake. To Perez in the 8th inning, he allowed an RBI double. Then Kyle Steckenrider came through with a little help to get the final 3 outs.
Trying to get the leadoff man here. 3-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. Ty France. Steckenrider is there in time. 1 out.
That is well done right there.
The 0-1. Bowers coming in. Makes the grab again. Jake Bowers having a day in left field. Here we go. 3-2. Took something off. Ground ball. Toro. And that's your ball game. Mariners win it by the count of 4-3 to salvage a game in this series against the Kansas City Royals. Kyle Seager, your hero, 2-run homer, 7th inning, career best number 31 for him. And now the Mariners, they'll enjoy this one, celebrate it, and then welcome into Houston Astros for the next 3 days.
Yeah, as Dave Sims mentioned, here come the Astros. 3-game series begins tonight at T-Mobile Park. First pitch 7:10. Chris Flexen and Luis Garcia will tow their respective rubbers. Another American League West action on Sunday. Adolis Garcia's grand slam home run highlighted an 8-run 5th inning. Texas Rangers slamming Houston 13-2. We like that. And Tony Kemp's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning was the difference for Oakland as the A's topped my Yankees 3-1. The Mariners lost ground in the wild card race by falling to Kansas City in 3 of their 4 games over the weekend. They now trail by 4.5 games. Everybody who's chasing Boston got a little help from Cleveland. Cleveland scoring 3 in the 8th to beat the Red Sox 7-5. Jose Barrios struck out 11 over 7 innings to lead Toronto over Detroit 2-1. New York still claims the top spot in the wild card race. Boston holds spot number 2. The A's are 2.5 back. Seattle sits a game in front of the Blue Jays. And finally, the Seahawks finished the preseason campaign on a winning note Saturday night, 27-0. The final over the Chargers at Lumen Field. Our very own Eric Granstrom was there, and he filed this report.
Well, the Seahawks wrap up the preseason on a positive note on Saturday night at Lumen Field, shutting out the LA Chargers by a score of 27-0. It would start on a defensive play as Cody Barton hit the starting quarterback for the Chargers, knocked the ball loose, and Marquise Blair scooped it up from there, took it in for a 17-yard touchdown, and the Seahawks were on the board first and would not relent. Alex Collins would run it in from 5 yards out to make it a 14-0 ball game in the first quarter. Jason Myers a couple of field goals in the second and third, and then they wrap up the scoring on a pass catch from Sean Mannion to Darius Roberson on 2 yards in the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks would go on for the 27-0 win. Geno Smith 11 of 15 in the ball game for 90 yards passing. Sean Mannion 13 of 15 for 77 yards in the touchdown. Alex Collins impressive both running the ball, 10 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. He also caught 7 passes for 52 yards on the night. Meanwhile, defensively, 5 sacks on the night for the defenses. They turned it up a notch. Darrell Taylor with a sack and a half. Cody Barton with that ball knocked loose on his sack in the ball game of the first quarter. And Nick Ballure, how about it? A fullback leads the team in tackles with 7 on the night. So the Hawks are off until a week from Sunday when they'll take on the Indianapolis Colts to start off the 2021 season. Again, Saturday night was all Seahawks at Lumen Field as the Hawks knock off the Chargers from LA 27-0. For the NCW Life Channel, I'm Eric Granstrom.
Thank you, Eric. Coach Pete Carroll, needless to say, very happy to end the preseason on a positive note, but now the hard part begins.
That was a nice finish to the preseason for us. After the first couple games, it was, kind of forgot about how we can play around here, and the guys really did a nice job tonight. We didn't change the approach and who played and all that, with a few exceptions, but it was just a really nice effort. Defense did great, and we mixed the run game with the passing game the way we like to, and it just was a nice, solid football game for us. We got a lot of work to do now, and getting ready for the opener, and we'll turn our sights to that as soon as we get to putting the roster together.
As Eric mentioned in his report, Alex Collins has had an excellent camp. He finished it with a good game, rushing and receiving on Saturday night. He's known to do Irish dancing in his spare time. Mr. Collins does. His teammates have nicknamed him Sweet Feet.
Definitely gratified. Just the feel of it. I know my teammates get fired up. I hear them on the sideline, sweet feet. But I definitely, I tell them, hey, come do some Irish dancing with me. You could do it all together. But it's definitely a good feeling just going out there and making plays like that and getting everybody fired up on the sideline.
And now Pete Carroll and Seattle's management and the coaching staff get together. It's roster trimming time. They have to trim the roster from 80 to 53 by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday. I don't know why I picked this particular holiday. I do these things on Friday, not knowing we were going to have a fire over the weekend. Maybe we shouldn't do National Toasted Marshmallow Day. It's a warm, gooey, wonderful little treat. Toasted marshmallows. I can never do them quite right. For one thing, marshmallows have a lot of sugar on them, and you just got to you got to be patient. When you're a little kid at the campfire and you put the marshmallow on the end of the stick, preferably a stick that you went out and found in the woods and you whittled off a little sharp edge, and you stick it over the fire, you just got to be patient. You got to turn it slowly and make sure you just don't stick into the fire and to make it just perfect. So it's like, that's about how I like my toasted marshmallow, kind of that dark brownish on the outside. We, of course, associate toasted marshmallows with campfires. Does anybody toast marshmallows in their oven? Sit in the kitchen. Wait, I don't know. Happy National Toasted Marshmallow Day. Let's do Today in History. August 30th, 1963, 58 years ago today, the hotline becomes operational, a direct line of communications between Moscow and Washington, D.C., so the leaders of the United States and the Soviet Union could contact each other directly. They wouldn't have to worry about going through protocols. It was known in popular culture as the red telephone. There was never a red telephone. It wasn't even a telephone line. It was a fax, kind of an early fax kind of a setup. The first message transmitted over the hotline on the state in 1963 was from Washington, D.C. to Moscow, and the text was, and I'm quoting now, "The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog's back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. They do those because it makes sure all the keys work appropriately because it has everything on the keyboard in one sentence. The return message from Moscow, and I'm quoting now, "We will take your quick brown fox and your lazy dog and bury you, you imperialistic dogs." I'm just kidding about the second part. The hotline came into effect. Again, wasn't really a red telephone. 57 years ago today, a very strange baseball doubleheader happened in Milwaukee on August 30th, 1964. Two things, actually. The Milwaukee Braves and the San Francisco Giants combined to use a major league record 15 pinch hitters. 15 pinch hitters in a 9-inning game. 2 9-inning games. So over the course of the doubleheader, 15 pinch hitters. You see that in the National League all the time, not in the American League. Of course, they have the designated hitter. The Giants won the opening game 15-10. It was a marathon. The Braves won the nightcap 7-4. But the unique part about this story is that the concession stands at Milwaukee County Stadium, halfway through the second game, ran out of change. All they had left was $13 in pennies. And since it was a Sunday, they couldn't go to the bank and get more change. And so they lowered the prices on everything so it would be an even amount. Yeah, because they had no money to give change with. Beer went from 31 cents to 30 cents. A hot dog went from 26 cents to 25 cents. A hot sandwich went from 62 cents to 60 cents because they didn't have any money to give you change. Oops. Happened on this day 57 years ago today. August 30th, 1967, 54 years ago today, Thurgood Marshall is confirmed by the United States Senate as the first African-American justice in the history of the United States Supreme Court. It is now 54 years later. In 1991, Thurgood Marshall retired. He was replaced by Clarence Thomas. And that's been it. 2 African-American Supreme Court justices. And there's been, 119 of them? 54 years ago today. And the workhorse of the shuttle program, the Discovery, had its very first launch on this date, August 30th, 1984. It was its maiden voyage of the brand new shuttle, the Discovery, over 27 years of service. It launched and landed 39 times. That's more than any other spacecraft, much less a space shuttle to date. Discovery was also the first shuttle to be retired. That is one working shuttle right there. Let's do birthdays at 34 minutes after the hour. He'll always be known as Steve Douglas, the dad in My Three Sons. Of course, he was a very well-known actor. The Apartment, The Caine Mutiny, Double Indemnity. Fred McMurray, born in the state in 1908. He was a businessman as well. He was a real estate magnate in Southern California. By the 1960s, early 1960s, Fred McMurray was the fourth highest paid citizen in the United States. He was also known to be frugal. He would bring his own sack lunch to the set of My Three Sons and just eat out of the sack lunch instead of going to the commissary so he could save money. His contract with the producers of My Three Sons demanded that all of his scenes for the entire year be shot first in August, September, October, and so by the end of October, he didn't have to go to work anymore and he could go out and play golf. And in fact, perhaps the most notable part about Fred McMurray and his well-renowned, he would not put a crowbar in his wallet regardless of what. Very famous story. He was a member of the Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles, California, one of the most important, and it was a hoity-toity club. He was a member there. And in the world of golf, if you hit a hole-in-one, you are supposed to buy everybody in the clubhouse when you come in from your round a round of drink. They're supposed to buy everybody a drink. Well, Bel Air would be expensive, and a couple hundred people in the clubhouse. Fred McMurray didn't want to do that. One day, he did hit a hole-in-one on the famous 12th hole at the Riviera Country Club, and instead of buying everybody in the clubhouse a drink when they got done, he paid the other three members of his foursome $100 apiece not to tell anybody that he hit a hole-in-one. Fred McMurray, born in the state in 1908. The splendid splinter, Ted Williams. His .482 on-base percentage is still the highest of all time. 19 times an All-Star, 2 times an American League MVP, probably should have won more. Won the Triple Crown twice. Number 11 all-time in wins above replacement, and Baseball Hall of Fame inductee 1966. The kid, Ted Williams, born 103 years ago today, died at the age of 83 in 2002. Warren Buffett, he's worth $104 billion. If Warren Buffett says buy this stock or buy this bond, buy it. He knows what he's talking about. Warren Buffett, 91 years old. He's the 9th wealthiest person in the world. And Sean Alexander is 44 years old today. Of course, he was the MVP the year that the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl back in 2005. First team All-American at the University of Alabama back in 1999. Sean Alexander. Happy 44th to Sean. Seahawk legend. 37 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. Then Eric last week had a chance to go up to Cashmere and visit with Bryan Bremer, the head football coach of the Cashmere Bulldogs, to talk about their upcoming prep sports campaign, which begins this Friday night. Eric's conversation with Coach Bremer coming up as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived. Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
Today, we're doing some employee development with our technicians.
Today, we're going to learn how to give our home a hug.
It's not just a motto, but a unique way that Patriot technicians care for your home.
Oh, no, come on. You really got to get in there and get your arms around it, give it a good embrace. All right, hey, good job.
I think the training is going really well.
Heating and cooling will give your home a hug.
Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge in Leavenworth has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience. Serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's Intimate Lounge is a wonderful place to relax and dine with beautiful views of the mountains. Do you have a special occasion coming up? Call Crystal's to reserve their event space. Whether your event is grand, intimate, or casual, Crystal's provides unforgettable food and superb service. Crystal's Restaurant and Lounge, proud to be serving fabulous food and drinks.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Baez and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
Make being home fun again. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa has just what you need to bring fun back into your backyard. We have a wide selection of artesian spas and swim spas, new and used to choose from. We are happy to announce we are now selling Rainbow Kids play structures with 50 models to choose from. To help finish off your entertainment area, we have patio furniture and Komodo Joe grills. At Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, we have just what you need to bring family fun and entertainment to your backyard. Stop by today.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's no comprehensive solution to school shootings. There's no one thing that if we do that one thing, it will guarantee to stop or even significantly deter someone intent on murdering school children. Deterring school shooting is going to take a wider ranging approach, much of it dependent not on government intervention, but on community involvement. This horrific situation, the murder of our children, is going to take each one of us being willing to stop our knee-jerk emotional reactions, ending the blame game, and most importantly, stop waiting for the government to act and instead ask ourselves, what can we in this community do to help provide an answer? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
You know, I have different people in the community come up and tell me that they've seen our commercial. I took my family up to Yodelin up in Leavenworth, and we walk in, and it's a Monday night, so Monday Night Football is playing, and all of a sudden, our commercial starts airing, and my kids couldn't believe it. They're like, Dad, you are on Monday Night Football. This is unbelievable. You know, we know somebody famous. Like, my respect level just went way up in my kids' eyes.
We have, over the last year, realized how important Apple Blossom is, how important those Friday football games are, and being a part of that community and being able to support those activities happening is very important to us.
One of our real passions as a business is to serve our community well, and at the same time promote our brand. And I feel like NCW Life allows you to do that with some of the different opportunities that they give you. There's ways to help us build community while at the same time promoting your brand.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Dave Tosh, Executive Director, Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, and I'm excited to announce a new variety show entitled Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Senior Center, and I think you'll find it educational, informative, and a lot of fun. Join us for the new program, Vibrant Living.
Alta Cellars Winery is a family-owned boutique winery featuring structured wines from some of the most sought-after vineyards in Washington. Time-honored winemaking techniques blend with New World style to create reds and whites that are captivating. Located in the original firehouse in downtown Manson, the spacious indoor-outdoor setting provides the perfect backdrop to indulge in a sit-down wine experience. You're invited to come enjoy this firsthand at Alta Cellars, now open in Manson.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to chelenpud.org/save today.
It's a new season. Football is nearly upon us. And talking with Bryan Bremer, head coach for the Cashmere Bulldogs. Let's see, are we now 5 years into your tenureship here? How far are we?
Oh man, it's I think it's only 4.
Oh, okay.
I think you're counting your chickens before they hatch here. Yeah, 4th year. Again, everything gets thrown off with the COVID year and the short season.
Right.
So,
That's right.
so 4th season at the helm.
This is what I've asked the coaches I've talked to, and I'll ask you the same. What did COVID teach you?
To be thankful. To be thankful and grateful, and to have perspective in your life. We all have differences in opinions and how to handle things like that, but just be thankful that with the people around you and the support that you have, and it's brought a lot of perspective to my life, that's for sure.
Well, and thankful that those seniors last year got a chance to play some football, and you win a Caribou Trail League championship. Nobody else had a league to play for. You guys did, so congratulations on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a really fun season for us. But like you said, it was a blur. I mean, 5 games, 4 league games, 1 non-conference. You really have like an 8-week season. But again, just to have that, so thankful and so grateful to have that, to give those 16 seniors that we had just closure to their high school football season in their year.
So now, you being this your 4th year, now you've got your senior class that you've had around you for 4 years now. So you graduated a lot of guys from last year, a lot of talent from last year. So what do you got coming back?
Yeah, we lost 18 of 22 starters were seniors. So, yeah, we have a lot of guys that need to step up. But the biggest thing that I think is often overlooked is we lost a lot of leadership. With 16 seniors, those guys have been around me for 3 years last year, and there was a ton of leadership. So we're looking on this kind of next senior class and most of our juniors to become leaders in our program and have positive influence on one another. We have that. We really do. Our senior class is small this year. We only have 9 kids. But our juniors and our sophomore classes are big. They're both 16, 17 kids, and we have a freshman class of 21. So we have a pretty large roster, the biggest since I've been here by far, 64 athletes out for football. So really excited about that. But yeah, we have some holes to fill, and you're never going to replace a guy like Sam Phillips or a guy on defense like Duke Odenreiter or a receiver like Nate Phillips or anybody like that. So it's going to be a team effort this year. We're going to rely on a lot of different guys. I think right now, like last year in practice, in offense, we would rotate, roughly 15 guys in. So 4 guys would get reps. This year, we're working in about 26 guys because I don't know who those guys are yet, which is super fun. There's competition at just about every single spot, which, again, as a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, what more could you want? Just an opportunity.
You talked about that leadership that class had. Besides the talent, that's something these guys can emulate, though, right? And learn from what their examples were.
Yeah. We have 3 unbelievable captains this year: Jack Croce, Cole Scott, Tony Oglin, 2 seniors and a junior. They're unbelievable. They're here 45 minutes before we start practice or meetings. They're setting everything up, getting everything ready. They've been unbelievable. It's been the best small group of captains that I've ever had. Just taking complete leadership. And again, I think they saw, last year when you have 16 guys that can do that role, guys start defaulting to one another. Well, again, he can do it. Well, it's this year. These 3 guys see it, that this is my football team, and we're going to take care of it. We're going to do it right. This team is the most unified team I've ever been around, which is crazy. You have the most numbers I've ever had, but yet it's the most unified team I've ever been around. And it's just a joy to coach, and I love being around them. Not as talented as we were. I'll be honest. We're not nearly as talented as we have accustomed to having. But when your team is fun to coach and the team's together, I mean, it makes all the difference in the world.
Part of that is off season and the work and the summer and getting ready and getting back to normal. Yeah. So how's it been?
Unbelievable. Like I said, just the amount of commitment from these guys. Our weight room numbers were double and even triple that I've seen here through my first 3 years. When we have consistently 35 to 40 guys in the weight room every single day with 4 days a week during the summer, it's just unbelievable. Again, these guys care, and these guys want to win. These guys want to be successful. So, again, just couldn't be more excited about this group, this young, inexperienced group, and what we can do with them.
So what are we looking at in your league, Caribou Trail League, this year?
Yeah, never take a day off. That's what I always say. You take a night off, a Friday night off, you're going to be in trouble. OMAC has a lot of size coming back. They were very youthful last year as well, so they have a lot of guys coming back. Chelan graduated, a lot of their big boys, but they have I think his best quarterback in the league coming back, a couple good running backs, a really good tight end. They'll be very solid. And same thing with Cascade and Quincy, just a lot coming back in our league. We were really the only team that lost a lot. And now we were in their shoes like they were in last year, where we have to replace all these pieces and we have to pick up the slack. Never take a night off in the Caribou Trail League.
How are you keeping it fresh? I know that you've had music and you've had cannonball contests in the swimming pool or something like that. How are you keeping it fresh here in Cashmere?
Yeah, we like to have fun. We work hard and we demand excellence from one another, and there's no slacking in my program. But when it's time to have fun, we get after it. So like you said, we had a barbecue on Saturday after our longest practice of the year, full pads, and we competed in bocce ball and spike ball and ladder ball and cornhole, and then finished off with a belly flop contest. I mean, that sort of stuff to me is really important, because our only word that we use to define our culture is family, and that for us stands for forget about me, I love you. So we do things for the person next to us, show the person next to us how much we care and how much we love them, how much we appreciate them, which I think is pretty undervalued in today's society.
Okay. Are we going to break into song here or soon or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not this group. A little more quiet, a little more timid. If anyone's singing around here, usually it's me.
Right. Fair enough. Well, best of luck this season. We're going to have you guys on when you take on OMAC later on television, so we're looking forward to that. And good luck. Keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. Go Dogs.
You bet. Bryan Bremer joining us here on the NCW Live channels. We talk football.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Tipsy Canyon Winery has become the place to go for fine wine and unbelievable views of the Chelan Valley. And now there's even more to enjoy. A new bandstand hosts live music every Thursday night during the spring and summer. The oversized fire pit's a favorite gathering place in the fall and winter. Tipsy Canyon has become a year-round destination for wine lovers. And while things have changed, what remains the same is that at-home feel provided by Mark, Tammy, and Lexi Garland. Stay for the moment that becomes the memory at Tipsy Canyon.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
911, what is the address of your emergency? Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think is there something the matter with him?
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious? No, he's not. He's not. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
And we are back, taking a look behind me at the Orondo Rock camera, looking back down towards the Wenatchee Valley. Near as we can tell, and we looked one more time at our PTZ camera towards what's being called the Rooster Comb fire that broke out yesterday afternoon on the south edge of town. Don't see anything, not a lick of flame, not a puff of smoke, nothing. I like to think that it's out, but we don't have confirmation on that, certainly perhaps contained. We'll have more on that fire with the news tonight. There's a live shot. You can even see some of the retardant red areas there with the retardant drought, but looks pretty good to me. Boy, the aerial attack, which was aggressive and immediate after this fire broke out, was quite impressive, and that's what most people were talking about last night into the wee small hours. The parade of planes and helicopters that went right after that Rooster Comb fire. And again, we don't know what caused the fire. Oftentimes, we never find out what caused wildfires. All right, we have a red flag warning. It begins at noon today. That's not good. It's the combination of warm temperatures, although it's not going to be hot today. It'll be about 80, but the relative humidity is going to be bone dry, and we're going to have some strong, gusty winds as the cold front. It's going to start working its way during the course of the day today. Right now, it's just perfectly calm. That is going to change as the day progresses. By the end of the day today, right around 6:30, it's going to be quite windy all over the Wenatchee Valley and along the Cascades as well. In fact, from the National Weather Service, here's what we're looking at. Sunshine today, and again, windy. Deeper into the day we go, the windier it's going to get here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're talking about a northwest wind, a good consistent 15 miles an hour, gusts above 20 at times. That's just for the valley. Other locations, of course, are more susceptible to stronger winds. Clear tonight, 54 for the overnight low. Still a little breezy tonight, but by the time we wake up Tuesday morning, there'll be just a little bit of residual wind. That's it. But it is going to get cool as this cold front comes in. Cold front means cold air. 70 for the high on Tuesday. That's it. So a good 10 degrees cooler, if not more than that. On Tuesday, 50 for the overnight low. Look at the overnight low Wednesday, 48 degrees. It's going to feel very autumn-like on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then another system, another high-pressure dome begins to build up on Thursday. And we're in for Labor Day weekend. Looks mighty fine indeed. Lots of sunshine, warm temperatures Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But again, a red flag warning begins at noon today, goes until 9 o'clock tonight. So here comes some wind. Keep your fingers crossed for any existing fires or new fires. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.